Hello and welcome to Zero Hanger TV. I'm joined by AFL reporter Jack Jovanovski. Welcome, Jack.
Thanks.
And today we are chatting about Port Adelaide. So where do we go for Port Adelaide? Straight sets exit after spending a lot of time on top of the ladder this year. So how do you rate their season overall this year?
It's interesting because they had a really positive home and away season. Obviously, they missed the finals last year and they went on that club record-breaking winning streak throughout the year. But it was really the end to the year that's been disappointing. Obviously, the fashion in which they exited finals in straight sets was really bad for the club. Obviously, they get, the home final against GWS really should have capitalised. They didn't. Obviously, they re-signed Ken Hinkley to a 2-year deal prior to the finals. So, yeah, it's an interesting dynamic now heading into the off-season.
Yeah. So they are sort of in a similar boat as Melbourne, where the list is in a pretty decent shape.
Yep.
Again, re-signed the coach probably a little bit prematurely, but what would they be looking at in terms of acquisition in the off-season? So they obviously have a lot of trade activity happening.
Yeah, hands full. So they've got 3 guys they're looking to bring in, 3 guys who requested trades to Alberton. So we're looking at Brandon Zerk-Thatcher, Salva Radaglia, and Jordan Sweet. So those 3 are looking to get to Port this off-season. That probably all those deals should get done. They're not really going to demand really high-end draft capital in exchange. And it's a good thing for Port because they don't have any first-rounders this year. Obviously, they dealt theirs away in that mega trade for Jason Horne-Francis. So they're kind of strapped in terms of picks. So they've got 4 sort of later picks, but they shouldn't really need too many early picks to get these guys in. They could also look at trading future picks if they do need to do so to kind of meet those other teams' requirements.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of next year, so if you want to give an early crow, like where do you think that a pass would be for them for next year?
If we're looking at a pass, I'm thinking, again, top 4, and then they want to be winning a final, definitely.
Yeah.
Sort of same as Melbourne, really. To not get back to the same stage as they did this year would be a fail, I think. But you'd really want to be winning a final, especially now that, they've recommitted to Hinkley for another 2 years. So, if they get back to the finals, can they actually get over that hump?
Yeah. Do you think it's just similar to where, Melbourne sort of faltered last year in terms of did they time their run sort of wrong? So they obviously had a strong part of the year in the middle of the year, but, they come finals, they were pretty banged up.
Yeah, we hear a lot about these really good teams and needs to sort of build into that really good form in sort of that last month or 2 of the season. And we didn't really see that with Port. So obviously they went on a massive win streak, lost a few games. Their sort of mojo was broken a little bit, and we saw that in the finals. I think the difference between Melbourne is they actually sort of came really close both times, whereas Port was sort of dominated in both outings. It was a really disappointing way for them to sort of clatter out of the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so a lot of work to do for Ken Hinkley and the Port. So that wraps it up for today's episode of Zero Hanger TV. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Phoenix.
And don't forget, you can catch all the latest AFL news at zerohanger.com.